To my games from where this week the fastest woman in Formula One and a champion of the centre court are learning trick shots from the newly crowned king of the Crucible.
Yeah!
Tonight, and I know why, because on tonight's show he is the newly crowned snooker world champion. He's the Basildon battler. Stuart Ball Run Bingham is here. She's jetted back to London from the Spanish Grand Prix. Williams Formula One driver Susie Wolff is also here. And he is sport's original rock star. He's going to be sitting on the sofa, ladies and gentlemen, Pat Cash. So they were having fun backstage earlier on, but our guests are now on the grid. Let's get on with the show. Whether it's returning a serve at over 100 miles per hour, manoeuvring a Formula One car around a corner at over 150 miles per hour, or sinking a match-winning black at, round about 1 mile per hour, my three guests tonight are masters of precision. The unforgettable and unmistakable Pat Cash was the king of the serve and volley. He would fight for every point as if it was his last, with his crowning moment coming in 1987, overcoming Ivan Lendl to lift the Wimbledon title. After an incredible career in Formula Renault, F3 and German touring cars, Susie Wolff has become the first woman in 20 years to compete in a Formula One Grand Prix weekend. She is simply the fastest woman in F1. As a master of ball control and the art of angles, Stuart Bingham shocks the sporting world by knocking out Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump and Shaun Murphy to become snooker world champion. To win or lose, for these three sporting stars, it always comes down to the finest of margins. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, please welcome Susie Wolff and Pat Cash. Cut music, because I would like, drum roll please. Appearing for the first time since he won the World Snooker Championship, please welcome Stuart Bingham. With the trophy and everything. How's it been?
Absolutely manic.
The last week, has it?
Yeah, it's been manic. TV, radio interviews, everything. It's just, my phone's just ain't stopped.
The ball run thing, Stuart Ball Run Bingham, who came up with that?
Back in the day, sort of the way Judd plays, he's very attacking and goes for everything, and that's what I used to do when I was younger. And ball run, it's just another word for lucky.
Do you feel lucky?
At the moment, I do.
Exactly. Yeah. The other thing that you have that's kind of your signature tune, and we brought you out to it, is the Phil Collins In the Air Tonight.
Yeah. It's just the music with the words. The words mean obviously something to me, and just seeing the oak playing the drums.
And as World Championships go, this is one of the most intense in terms of how long it takes, because the final takes 3 days, basically. How much of the final, how often have you watched it back?
Every day.
Every day?
Oh, really? Yeah. I recorded it back home, and I've been waking up about 7 o'clock, and that's the first thing I do, put the TV on. My wife's still asleep, and my boy's next to me, and he sort of says, "Can you turn Toy Story 2 on?" And I'm like, no.
Let's just see the crucial moment.
Concede, it's a lap of honour.
I love that, right in the middle of it, literally as you're queuing back, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We love you, Stu.
I bought the World Championship final table.
They made you buy it?
Yeah.
I thought they'd give it to you.
No, I had to buy, I think it was about $6.5 grand. Not a lot, as in snooker's concerned. But yeah, it's nice to have, say, I'm a bit of a snooker geek with all the memorabilia. I got the set of balls, I had to pay £1,000 for them in an auction. All for good charity, Bluebell Wood, so it all went for a good charity.
Who was bidding against you?
It was a silent auction, so I don't know. Sean Murphy said he was going to bid £1 more. There was obviously in that 15-all frame, he missed the yellow, and he said he was going to smash the yellow to bits. Send me the rest.
It must be terrible when you get nervous and does the cue shake? I mean, it must do that. I can imagine.
It's more before for me. Before I go out, it's like this. I'm actually nervous as anything. But get my cue in my hand in front of 5 million people, I'm fine because it's something I know what I'm doing.
So once you get into the sort of the basics of the game, you're all right because that's what you're familiar with. Your kind of muscle memory's there and takes over. Susie, what about you?
I'm the exact same. Get the helmet on, the visor down. Everything else is just gone, and it's just me in the car. It's the easiest part. But I always think when you're nervous, it's good because it means you're going to achieve something. It means you're in the moment where you could achieve something good. So I try and look at it from a positive when the nerves are rumbling.
When you are going into a Grand Slam, do you get yourself sometimes in a frame of mind where it's not just hope, where you actually believe you can win? And did you, coming into 1987 Wimbledon, did you believe this is it, this is my year?
Yeah, for sure. I knew it was going to.
Right from the beginning?
Well, the only person I think was really, there was nobody in the tournament I didn't think I could beat. The only person I was concerned about was Boris Becker. I thought if Boris and I had a battle, it would be down to nip and tuck, for a good tough 5-set match, and anybody could win. But he went out early, and so I was, I suppose I was cocky, but I wasn't you try not to be overly confident, but. I had my sports psychologist there. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I had this guy there. That was to every night we do my meditation, and we'd do a lot of visualization stuff. So I would go in the top bedroom and we'd put music on, and I'd lie down, and he would literally talk me through. He'd talk me through all the scenarios to calm down, relax, and visualizing certain things. And so it was, there's a lot of that sort of stuff that I did, which was kind of starting to become popular around that time.
And the added bonus for you, in a way, was that you were playing somebody in the final that you really didn't much like.
Yeah, well, we weren't best of friends, I suppose, no.
Which was Ivan Lendl. So have a look at this, because this is as perfect a match point, a championship point, as you will ever see. Pat, talk us through it.
Well, that's my stock standard game, is to get into the net quickly and hit the ball. In those days, was hit the ball deep into the corner, get the guy moving backwards, and then put the ball in the cross court into the hole, really, and that's pretty much the way it worked. It was nice because I had a nice lead at that stage, 40 love, so it was a nice way to finish it off. It was all. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's all just a bit of a blur. And unlike you, I've never actually watched the match back. It's.
I remember that as it was yesterday.
Really? Yeah.
Your match there. I remember it was yesterday.
No kidding. Yeah.
And Pat, you when you did win Wimbledon, I don't know how far in advance you planned it, but you decided to climb up to the players' box.
I sort of had planned it, but not particularly well. I didn't know why. No sports people had gone to hug their family or coach. It was just the most natural thing. But I think I was in the finals the night before, and I thought, okay, yeah, tomorrow what I'll do is when I win, I'll go and do it. I went, there's my sister on the left, my dad who's no longer with us with the cap sideways, and that was my trainer. That's my sports psychologist. That was my coach. So I had a whole team. After
you did that, some years after actually, they finally decided, maybe this was health and safety, they decided to put a gate in, didn't they?
Yeah, they have that room there, that little door there.
Yeah, I think we should call
last year.
We should call it the Pat Cash Gate. Do you think that would be your legacy, your greatest legacy?
Yeah, I'd love that more than anything. Wouldn't it be cool?
There's something like that.
I think we start.
I've got a Henman Hill. I don't have a hill. Okay, I'll get a door.
Your climb up to those stands, it influenced some other tennis players who have definitely. I think Djokovic did it, didn't he? Petra Kvitova did it.
Yeah, Nadal did a beauty. He climbed all the way across to the.
That's right.
To the King of Spain, I think. But,
yep. Serena Williams. Andy Murray did it when he won.
Sampras did it eventually, didn't he? After he won the 6th one or something like that, 5th one.
And Stuart Bingham did it.
Did he?
Yes.
That's just great because, you know, I got a patent on this and I get a bit of money every time somebody does something like that.
You're more than welcome.
Well, you have to check this out then as to whether it qualifies, because your family and your friends did sort of come halfway down to meet you, but you went a fair way up.
Yeah. I actually thought this is the Pat Cash moment. Honestly, I honestly thought that. It'd be good to go up into the crowd and sort of say, like, all my family and friends there, it's for all the people that have helped you get there.
And you just want to be with your friends, your family, Susie, your team. You want to turn to your team.
Yeah, because I think sometimes people, even in Formula One, okay, it's the driver in the car and people think, okay, it's just the driver out there. But we couldn't do it without the team behind us. And, you know, back at Williams, there's 500 people building 2 race cars. So the driver is just the last line of attack. It's a team sport. And everyone has to do their job right for it to function. So that's why for us, any kind of success, it's team success. It's not just your own personal success.
And you are a key part of that team for Williams. So what is your job?
My job title is test driver, which is sometimes awkward because testing is banned in Formula One. But the bulk of my work we were just discussing earlier is done in the simulator back at the factory, which is a very, very high-tech virtual world of Formula One. But then to be able to correlate the work in there, I also get to drive the real car, which is the best part. You know, there's just so many good drivers and so few opportunities on the grid. And there's many drivers that deserve it just as much as, I think I do. But there's many drivers who do, and there's many that will just never even get the chance to drive an F1 car because there are only 20 spaces on that grid, of which, let's say, half are very competitive. And that's the pinnacle of motorsport. That's where every driver wants to be, and the cars to drive are just phenomenal.
Do you think that your gender plays any part in terms of people not giving you that chance?
I would like to think not, no. I think in my sport, when my helmet's on and the visor's down, you don't see the driver anyway. All you see is a lap time coming up. So performance is the main thing. But it's quite difficult for me to give my perception because I've been racing since I was 8 years old. So for me, it was just my passion. I never set out on a path to prove anything about what a woman could achieve. I just set out on my path to be the best I could be. And I don't feel like my gender has held me back. Maybe I'll have a different perception when I look back on my career, but certainly right now I just feel like it's tough for all of us, regardless of gender.
Sterling Moss actually rather surprised me because he was very, he believes that women have the physical strength, but he said, I don't know if they've got the mental aptitude to race hard, wheel to wheel.
About a week after that comment came out, I was at the factory in the simulator and it came over the time out Susie Wolf to reception. And I was busy, so I didn't really bother. And then 10 minutes later, they said, please come to reception. So I came to reception. They said, there's a phone call for you. It's Sir Sterling. And I thought, oh, here we go. So I picked up the phone. I said, Sir Sterling, please, before you say anything, I have so much respect for you as a driver. You can have any opinion you want. It doesn't worry me at all. And he said, oh, no. I meant what I said. I just didn't mean you. Okay.
You're the exception to the rule.
But he had a sister who was racing, actually. And
so he meant her?
Well, yeah. But at the end of the day, I think when you put yourself out there as a sports person, there's always going to be those that are for you and those that are against you. I can't expect everyone to support me, and there are a lot that don't. But I kind of use that more to keep me determined to show everybody, really.
There was an awful lot of talk and a lot of headlines when Andy Murray appointed Amelie Mauresmo as his coach, and she's going to take time off now. But Pat, you were way ahead of your time.
Yeah, well, I was lucky. I had the best trainer there was, and but you saw her when I was climbing up through the stands there, and Dr. Anne Quinn. You know, I wanted the best. You know, bringing a female into my team was just, I didn't even think about it, which was kind of ironic because about the same time as I won Wimbledon, at the same time as I was quoted about equal prize money. I didn't believe in equal prize money.
Well, was that a direct quote? Was that what you were trying to say?
Well, it was. Yeah, it was. It's sort of. I suppose it was a different situation back there, but I don't think the issue is going to ever die down until the girls start playing a five set Grand Slams. I mean, whether it's a quarterfinals or a final, I think everybody wants to see. It's not necessarily. It's equality in all over sport. So why can't they play 5 sets? I want to see Serena Williams playing Sharapova. They don't really like each other. I want to see them battle it out to five sets all the way through. And I think it should be all the way through the Grand Slams. I don't understand why they don't do it. And I don't think it's about the girls. I think the WTA have said we want to play. It's about the ITF or fitting it into the schedule. So
because actually the men don't play 5 sets every day on the circuit. They play